Welcome to Target Me. Today, our topic is reproductive health. What is reproductive health? In general terms, reproductive health refers to healthy reproductive organs with normal functions. But according to World Health Organization or WHO, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, that is physical, emotional, behavioral and social. People having physically and functionally normal reproductive organs and normal emotional and behavioral interactions among them in all sex related aspects might be called reproductively healthy. So, the increased health facilities along with better living conditions had an explosive impact on size of population. A rapid decline in death rate, maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate as well as increase in number of people attaining reproductive age are causes of population explosion. The population of world was around 2 billion in 1900 and this had increased to 6 billion by 2000 and 7.2 billion in 2011. A similar trend was observed in India also. Indian population was approximately 350 million at the time of our independence, that is in 1947, and it has reached to a billion by the starting of 2000 and it has crossed 1.2 billion in May 2011. This means that every sixth person in world is an Indian. According to 2011 census report, the population growth rate was less than 2%, that is 20 per thousand per year, at rate which our population could increase rapidly. This is a new updated census which I have given according to 2011 census report, that is 2%, 20 per thousand per year, a rate at which population could increase rapidly. The one given in NCERT was the 2001 census and it was 1.7%, that is 17 per thousand per year. Such a rapid growth rate could lead to scarcity of basic requirements like food, shelter, clothing, etc. So to prevent this, government has to take some measures. As a part of this, government is undertaking many programs like increasing the marriage age of females to 18 and males to 21, and the new GO which was passed recently, in that the marriage age of males is also reduced to 18, but as per the NCERT it is 18 for female and 21 for males. The most important step to overcome this program is motive to people to have smaller families. The most famous slogan is Hum Do Hamare Do, or adopting one child norm by many people these days. So to prevent this population explosion, contraceptives are introduced. What are these contraceptives? Contraceptive methods help to prevent unwanted pregnancies. An ideal contraceptive should be user-friendly, easily available, effective and reversible with no or least side effects. It should in no way interfere with sexual drive, desire or act of the user. I repeat again, an ideal contraceptive should be user-friendly, easily available, effective, reversible with no or least side effects. It should in no way interfere with the sexual drive, desire or sexual act of the user. A wide range of contraceptive methods are presently available, which can be grouped like the natural methods or traditional methods. Second one is the barrier methods. Third one, intrauterine devices or IUDs. Fourth one is hormonal methods, that is oral contraceptives. Fifth one, injectables. Sixth one, implants. And last but not least are surgical methods. Firstly, let's discuss about natural methods. These are also known as traditional methods. This method works on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperm meeting. Among this, there are different kinds of traditional contraceptives. First one we will discuss is the periodic abstinence. This is also known as the rhythm method or safe period. In this method, the couples avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. This is the period of ovulation and is also known as the fertile period of females. Second one we have is the withdrawal or coitus interrupts. Male partner withdraws his penis from vagina just before ejaculation to avoid insemination. Next one is lactational amenorrhea, which is also known as the absence of menstruation during intense lactation after parturition, that is the childbirth. Prolactin produced during lactation inhibits the secretion of gonadotropins. The lactational amenorrhea has been reported to be effective only up to maximum period of 6 months following parturition. Side effects are almost nil in these methods, in all natural methods I mean, but the chances of failure are high. Second one we have is barrier methods. In this barrier method, ovum and sperms are prevented from physically meeting with the help of barriers. First barrier we have are the condoms. They are made of thin rubber or latex sheath and are used to cover the penis in male or vagina and cervix in the female before coitus, so that the ejaculated semen would not enter the female reproductive tract. The best example is Nirodh, which is a popular brand for males. Female condoms are called as femidomes or femshields with a ring at either end. Example are Realty and Semi, SEMY. Condoms provide additional benefit of protecting the user from contracting STDs such as AIDS. Both male and female condoms are disposable and can be self-inserted and therefore gives privacy to the user. Next one we have are reusable barriers like diaphragm, cervical caps and vaults. They are also made of rubber. These are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during coitus. They prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperms through the cervix. They are reusable. Here are some examples. Example for diaphragm is Coroflex, KOROFLEX. For cervical cap is Prentis, that is PRENTIS, and for vaults it's Dumas, DUMAS. Spermicidal jellies and foams containing boric acid, lactic acid, citric acid, zinc sulfate, potassium permanganate, etc. are usually used along with these barriers to increase contraceptive efficiency. Third type of contraceptive we have is intrauterine devices or IUDs. It is one of the most widely accepted methods of contraception in India. These devices should be inserted by doctors or expert nurses into the uterus through vagina. Here you have to note the most important is they are the widely accepted methods of contraception in India. Insertion of IUD with 5 days of unprotected sex prevents implantation. There are different kinds of IUDs. Here we will discuss basic 3 types: non-medicated IUDs, copper releasing IUDs and hormone releasing IUDs. Non-medicated IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms in uterus. Example is Lipiz loop. Second one, copper releasing IUDs like CUT, CU7 and Multilode 375. The release of copper ions suppress the sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. The next we have are hormone releasing IUDs. These like Progestacid, LNG 20 or levonorgestrel 20. In this, the hormones make uterus unsuitable for implantation and cervix hostile to sperms. Next, we have our hormonal methods. Oral contraceptives such as pills, administration of small doses of either progesterones or progesterone estrogen combination is used by females. They are used in the form of tablets. Pills have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within first 5 days of menstrual cycle. After a gap of 7 days, that is after taking a 21 days, a gap of 7 days in which the menstruation occurs, it has to be repeated in the same pattern. These pills inhibit ovulation, implantation, alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent or retard the entry of sperms. Pills are very effective with lesser side effects and are well accepted by the females. Pills are of two types. Combination pills like Mala D, Mala N, which contain small doses of progesterone and estrogen. Mini pills like Mini Cronor with only progesterone are POP, that is progesterone only pill. Saheli is a new oral non-steroidal contraceptive for females containing centroman, which alters the lining of uterus. This Saheli is also called as once a week pill with very few side effects and high contraceptive value. Saheli was developed by scientists in Central Drug Research Institute CDRI in Lucknow. The next hormonal method is non-oral contraceptives. Their mode of action is similar to that of pills and their effective period are much longer. Then we have injectables. Progestogens alone, that is DMPA, that is dipot medroxyprogesterone acetate, or in combination with estrogen like cyclophem or Mesigna, are used by females as injections. Next, we have implants. Implants are inserted above the elbow and release progesterone in up to 5 years. Example is Norplant. Then we have surgical methods. This is also called as sterilization. These are advised as terminal methods to prevent any more pregnancies. They are very effective and block gamete transport, thereby prevent meeting of gametes. Sterilization procedure in male is called as vasectomy. In this, a small part of vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on scrotum. In females, this sterilization process is called tubectomy, and in this the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in abdomen through the vagina. These techniques are highly effective, but their reversibility is very poor. Widespread use of contraceptive methods have a significant role in checking population growth. Also, the next type are emergency contraceptives, which we have to discuss. Administration of progestogens or progesterone estrogen combinations or IUDs within 72 hours of coitus have been found to be very effective as emergency contraceptives, as they could be used to avoid possible pregnancies due to rape or casual unprotected intercourse. The drugs used for treating emergency contraceptions are called morning after pills. Example, I pill, pill 72 and unwanted 72. They are also available in India under family welfare program since 2002 to 2003, some around that period. Next, we are going to discuss about MTP, that is medical termination of pregnancy. Voluntary termination of pregnancy before full term is called as medical termination of pregnancy. It's also known as induced abortion. Nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year all over the world, which accounts to 1/5 of total number of conceived pregnancies in a year. Government of India legalized MTP or medical termination of pregnancy in 1971 with some strict conditions to avoid its misuse. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act, which was passed in 2017, was enacted by Government of India with intention of reducing the incidence of illegal abortion and consequent maternal mortality and morbidity. According to this act, pregnancy may be terminated on certain considered grounds within first 12 weeks of pregnancy on the opinion of one registered medical practitioner. If pregnancy had lasted more than 12 weeks but fewer than 24 weeks, two registered medical practitioners must be of opinion, formed in good faith, that the required ground exists. The grounds of such termination of pregnancies are: the continuation of pregnancy would involve risk to the life of pregnant women or of grave injury in physical or mental health of a female. Next one is, there is a substantial risk of if the child were born, it would suffer from physical or mental abnormalities as like serious handicapness. MTP is generally performed to get rid of unwanted pregnancies, either due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of contraceptive use during intercourse or rapes. MTPs are also essential in certain cases where continuation of pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal either to the mother or to the fetus of both. MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester, that is up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Second trimester abortions are much more riskier. Unhealthy trends related to MTPs are: majority of MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified quacks, which are not only unsafe but could be fatal too. Misuse of amniocentesis to determine the sex of unborn child. Amniocentesis is some of the amniotic fluid of developing fetus is taken to analyze the fetal cells and dissolved substances. The cells can be cultured in vitro for further examination. What is the significance of amniocentesis? First one is sex determination. Fetal skin cells drawn with amniotic fluid are stained to determine the presence of sex chromatin, that is the bare body. The next one is to determine metabolic disorders. By enzyme analysis of amniotic fluid, different types of inborn metabolic disorders like phenylketonuria, alkaptonuria, etc. can be detected. Next one is congenital diseases can be detected by karyotypic studies of somatic cells, abnormalities due to changes in chromosome number like Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, etc. and certain genetic disorders like hemophilia and sickle cell anemia can be determined. In 1976, Indian government banned the use of this test for purpose of sex determination. Later in 1987, ultrasound scanning technique was invented for detecting the developmental abnormalities in fetus. Now let's discuss about STDs or sexually transmitted diseases. Diseases or infections that are transmitted through sexual intercourse are called sexually transmitted diseases. They are also called as venereal diseases or reproductive tract infections. There are different kinds of STDs, but except for hepatitis B, genital herpes, and HIV or AIDS, All other diseases are curable. These hepatitis B, genital herpes, and AIDS are incurable once infected. Sharing injection needles, surgical instruments, etc., with infected persons, transfusion of contaminated blood, or from infected mother to fetus are possible ways of transmission of hepatitis B, HIV infections, etc. Early symptoms of most of these diseases are minor and include itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, swellings, etc. in the genital region. Infected females may often be asymptomatic and hence may remain undetected for a long. Absence or less significant symptoms in early stages of infection and social stigma attached to STDs determine the infected persons from going for timely detection of proper treatment. Untreated STDs in women may lead to complications such as pelvic inflammatory disease or PID, abortions, stillbirths, abnormal pregnancies, and ectopic pregnancies, infertility, or even cancer of the reproductive tract. Let me tell you what ectopic pregnancies are. Ectopic pregnancy is an abnormal pregnancy that occurs outside the uterus and the fetus generally cannot survive. STDs are a major threat to healthy society. Therefore, prevention or early detection and cure of these diseases are given prime consideration under reproductive health care programs. Persons of age group 15 to 24 years are most vulnerable to contract STDs. So, the people who are most vulnerable to these are people who have continuous blood transfusions, that is, people with diseases related to kidney, that means those who are undergoing continuous blood transfusions under dialysis or something like that. People who have multiple partners are also prone to STDs. To prevent them, avoid sex with unknown partners or multiple partners, always using condoms during intercourse. In case of doubt, consulting the qualified doctor for early detection and get complete treatment if diagnosed with STD. The common STDs and causative organs are gonorrhea, which is also known as CLAP, is caused by a bacteria called Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Syphilis is another disease caused by a bacterium, Treponema pallidum. It is a spirochete bacterium. Next we have is genital herpes, that is herpes simplex virus, HSV. Then genital warts and cervical cancer are caused by human papilloma virus, HPV. Then trichomoniasis is caused by a protozoan parasite, Trichomonas vaginalis. Then chlamydiasis is caused by a bacteria called Chlamydia trachomatis. Then hepatitis B is caused by HBV, that is hepatitis B virus, and HIV infection or AIDS is caused by HIV virus, human immunodeficiency virus. Then we have the major topic, infertility. Infertility is the inability to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual intercourse. The reasons for this could be many physical congenital diseases, drugs, immunological, or even physiological. Specialized healthcare units like infertility clinics could help in diagnosis and corrective treatment of some of these disorders and enable these couples to have children. If the corrective treatment is not possible, the couple could be assisted to have children through certain special techniques commonly known as assisted reproductive technologies or ARTs. We have different kinds of ARTs like IVF, ZIFT, GIFT, and GIFT, GIFT, ICSI, artificial insemination or AI. IVF is in vitro fertilization In this, fertilization outside the body in almost similar conditions as the body is done. It's followed by embryo transfer ET and is popularly known as test tube baby program. In this program, ova from wife or donor and sperm from husband or donor are collected and are induced to form zygote under stimulated conditions in the laboratory. In vitro fertilization or embryo transfer are of two types. First one is GIFT, ZIFT, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer. It is transfer of either zygote or embryo at 8 blastomere stage into the fallopian tube of the female. Then IUT or intrauterine transfer. It is transfer of embryo with more than 8 blastomeres, especially at 32 celled stage into uterus of female. Embryo formed by in vivo fertilization, that is fusion of gametes within the female, also could be used for such transfer to assist those females who cannot conceive. Next we have is GIFT, that is it's GIFT, gamete intrafallopian transfer. It is the transfer of ovum collected from a donor into fallopian tube of another people who cannot produce ovum but can provide suitable environment for fertilization and further development. It is also known as in vivo fertilization. ICSI or intracytoplasmic sperm injection is a procedure to form an embryo in laboratory in which a sperm is directly injected into the ovum by micropuncture of zona pellucida. Then comes artificial insemination. It's a procedure in which the semen collected either from husband or healthy donor is artificially inserted into vagina or into the uterus. IUI, it's intrauterine insemination of the female. Infertility cases, either due to inability of male partner to inseminate the female or due to very low sperm counts in the ejaculates, could be corrected by artificial insemination, that is AI technique. Assisted Reproductive Technologies Bill 2010 guides the rules for surrogacy. Surrogacy is the renting of womb of a healthy person to carry the fetus if the mother's womb is not ready to bear the child or if she voluntarily doesn't want to carry the baby. All these techniques require extremely high precision handling by specialized professionals and expensive instrumentation. Emotional, religious, and social factors are also deterrents in adoption of these methods. So, legal adoption is one of the best methods for couple looking for parenthood. Here, some additional information which I would like to give is Leslie and John Brown were the first couple who went for in vitro fertilization in 1970. Dr. Patrick Steptoe and Dr. Robert Edwards had performed this in vitro fertilization. Zygote is transferred by a tube called catheter into the female uterus. Thank you for listening. Hope this video helped.